ready for the end of this week. I'm
so ready for the end of this year.
So ready.
Right?
Not at all, Anna. Kicking so many goals that the momentum's just kicking in. Why wait for the end of it? So
Right.
That's right. Well, we've got
the magic's created in the fourth quarter of the game. So you gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
Super Bowl's up 1 in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all good. All right, guys. Well, we have got a great show. If this is your first time, let us know in the chat. Send us a copy of your LinkedIn profile. Tell us what you do or what you're looking for. If you've landed, we're going to call on you to share this. It is so amazing to see 35 people and counting joining this.
And if you're a recruiter, let us know what you specialize in, where you are, and then we'll have you share some of your hot jobs too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, hey, I see a familiar face, Miss Aditi. Hello. So basically what we want to do today is, well, it's a chance for us to get together and kind of try to forget the year that was hell. That we all went through, and we've all experienced that pain and stuff. But you know what? 2021 is going to be a good year. So I wanted to kick this off with just kind of the outlook. So I did some research and I was on a webinar and they had shared these slides. So I'd like to share the slides with you and show you, just share some really good news here. So let me just give me a second. I'm sharing my screen. And if you could let them in, that'd be awesome.
I'm doing it. Got it. I'm on it. I don't know how to turn the beeping off though.
I forgot to do that. So it'll just have to. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen here any moment. Can you see that?
Yes.
And it's the full blown. It's not the speaker's notes version, right? So here's the good news. And I know that a lot of you are based in quite a few of these major cities. I don't believe we have anybody on from Honolulu. But here's the good news. If you look at this recovery timeline by location, so if you're in Austin, Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, Phoenix, a full recovery, it's a full recovery. They expect a decent and full recovery by the end of the year 2022. So I know it's only 2021. I get that. But what this says to me is if they're expecting full recovery on the, for 2022, that means people are going to be hiring like mad dogs next year. They have to. They can't wait until the end, right, Anna? Don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah. So, and we'll open it up. And certainly if you want to bring something when I finish this, bring something to the forefront with your thoughts, feel free. So now let's go dive a little deeper, right? So this is the recovery timeline by industry. So find your industry on there. And if it's not on there, I'm sorry, this is just the information I was able to pull. But if if you have experience in the financial sector, the year of full recovery is a year away. But again, this means that we really need the positions are going to be opening up. I don't know if that's going to happen on January 2nd. I don't know if it's going to happen on January 20th or January 21st after the big event, right? The big change in the swap over. It's going to take some time. And now today, there's a whole new set of problems. And I'll tell you, who's our cybersecurity expert? Was it Maria? Anna?
Alma's doing cybersecurity.
Alma. So, I mean, I don't know if you saw the news today, but the Russians have been hacking the federal and local and state governments today. And it's continuing to go. It's like a full-scale attack, they're calling it. And so that could put a dent in things, but it shows that there's a huge need for cybersecurity, which, IT is not on here, but I'd throw it under the professional and business services umbrella, right? So if you see this, what this tells me is that, while the U.S. is really looking at a full recovery in 2023, these industries within the U.S. are still going to see that are listed here for a year away from now, is now the time. So what I'm saying to you is this. Look at this. Look at these numbers. They're staggering. Average hires between 2011 and 2019 was $61 million, or 61 million people. Probably a lot more than $61 million. But the projected hires for the U.S. is 15K or 15 million more. So that means the total U.S. projected hires between 2021 and 2023 is 200 million. This is to say, and whether you've been looking for 1 day, 1 week, 10 weeks, 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, you're going to get employed next year. You're going to get employed next year. And I know that because you've been through our training, or if you haven't, you should call Anna Morgan, and she is an amazing career coach. I do career coaching, but mostly for executive level, but she does it all around. So if you need that help, invest in Anna and get your strategy in place, because she can help you get there, right? And so, but I mean, what are y'all thoughts on this slide here? Open up. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Lena wrote, "Wow."
I heard someone in the background say, "Wow." What do you think? Who wants to?
Yeah, Michael, I think this pretty much, gives a pretty accurate projection of certainly what I'm seeing. I mean, here in Austin's been hit particularly hard in the tech sector, but I do see some opportunity, especially coming with a lot of the big moves here. Oracle moving their headquarters here, and I think a lot of other companies will follow. So, yeah, there's definitely a recovery period, and I do see some good opportunities coming from that, based on those things. So, yeah,
Nice,
exciting.
very exciting. Thanks, Ben. Anybody else?
Hey,
Yes,
Michael.
Mike. This is Mike Stelly. And can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Mike.
go ahead, Mike.
Oh, that's okay. But real quick, where IT falls into all of this, it's not only just as its own sector, but also within every other business sector as well, because each of those companies do have some sort of IT function. So I would take that into consideration.
Great point.
Well, and I think, so one of the trends that I've been hearing is that if you're in banking, and I don't think we have any tellers on the line, but what I've heard is they want to take the tellers. So the way we know banking today, where you go to a drive-up window, it's all because of COVID, it's been sped up to be accomplished that everything will be online around banking in the next 5 years. So cybersecurity comes to the forefront. So these bank tellers will actually turn into help desk and customer service folks for the organization. And we're talking about a major retooling and retraining of people right across the country. And so I think, to your point, Mike, what we're going to see is really an explosion in several areas of IT as we begin to open back up, because it's just, everything has just shown that it can be done remotely, it can be done online. So that's just my thoughts. So thank you. Mike Stelly, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, granted that the IT piece isn't here because it's more, in the last 25 years, IT went from, something from, being managed by the chief financial officer to its own thing in its own right. It's become its own entity, and it permeates, everything. So it's kind of hard to take it out now. But Anna is fully aware of my situation right now. We've talked extensively, and there's a real, one thing to say, oh, look at all this great and wonderful stuff coming down the line. But what I'd like to hear addressed is the here and now, because some of us are, like for me, we're running out of benefits, encountering social problems like ageism and whatnot. And don't really have an option or have a plan to go forward with that. And, you know, don't want to be the Debbie Downer. I just want to be the pragmatist here and say, how do we, these are great numbers, but what do we do now in the short term?
Well, I mean, I've talked too much. Anna, go ahead. Answer that question.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still admitting people.
I got you. I got your back.
Situation is unique. I think it's important to, continue keeping.
Can't hear you, Anna.
Oh, you can't.
Anna,
Oh, hold on. Desk, is this better?
Yeah.
The importance of IT.
Coming in and like taking my mic and moving it. Sorry about that. So it really depends on the person and the amount of.
Hey, Anna.
Yeah.
You're breaking up. We got what? If you could put yourself on mute, I think that's a part of it. Try it now, Anna. Go ahead.
Okay. We didn't hear anything you said, Anna. Sorry.
All right. I didn't say much. I just said it really depends on the actual person. How much personal branding they've been doing.
Hey, Anna, plug your microphone's not plugged in all the way. While she's doing that, don't give up, right? In the short term, keep your focus. And Michael, I know you've been through a lot. I get it. And I'm sorry that it's been a rough go. But I mean, these numbers are pretty telling. So from what I've heard, it's not going to be this scaled like we saw in 2008, after 2008 recession. It's a rocket ride up. So go ahead, Anna. Are you back?
Testing.
Yeah. It sounds a little bit better. Keep going.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. I haven't had any problems.
It's still a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have answer for a situation like that. I mean, what I coach is socially in front of your hiring managers and the recruiters to gain that traction. Start to pop and companies are really moving forward.
Hey, Anna, I don't know what it is, but it has to do with your connection. There's something loose. And so, because you'll talk and you'll go in and out.
And you'll get really loud and then disappear.
See on the network, I think.
There you go. Go on your computer. Just do your computer audio.
I don't think it's going to be much.
We can hear. Cut out too.
Nope.
No talking.
Right.
Let me just unplug my Yeti and plug it back.
We'll take it offline, but thank you anyway.
So basically what it boils down to is you can lay your head down and wait for that right opportunity to come in. We've talked about this on multiple shows. You can stick your head in the sand and wait for the vaccine to come around to your turn. But I mean, we're still looking at that for a while, but there are a lot of remote positions out there. I did a poll on LinkedIn yesterday. It was like 100 and I think so far there have been 120 respondents over the last 2 days. And the question was, do you think we'll be allowed that management will finally accept the fact that we are able to work remote, and will that trend continue? And 97% said yes, 3% said no. So know that the remote ability to work remote will still be out there, right? So happy to talk with you offline as well, Michael. So
yeah, and the main point was to focus on to get some short-term folks, get some focus on what can we do is for the short term as well, because we all know that we're in deep and it's going to take a long time to get out of this stuff. I mean, we were hit every sector in the US and the world actually we caught flat-footed, and it's going to take us a while to rebound. But we're headed in the right direction. So what do people do in the short term? And that's really the only point I wanted to bring up, but I'll let other people go. Thanks for letting me chat on that.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Michael, just a quick follow up on that. I'm in this situation, similar situation, but the one thing that I found is that adapt, pivot, embrace the adversity, and look for some new momentum each day and opportunities. But if I can connect with you, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I've got some strategies, some ideas, and if I can connect you to anyone in my network, I'm happy to pay it forward to you. Okay, mate. So feel free to connect, and we can take it offline, and I can help you out.
Thanks. And Anna can tell you that she knows I'm on the pivot. I'm on the pivot podium.
Yeah,
if you will.
no worries, mate. You're already there. You're doing your best, and 2021 is going to be your year. Don't worry about it. We got it.
Thanks, sir. And I will connect with you. Thank you.
Please do, mate.
Yeah, everybody needs to connect. Is my mic any better?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I
Much.
replugged everything in. Yay! Okay, so Michael shared some really great tips about what we might have to look forward to in the future, and it's just an invitation to really keep up all the different strategies. And one of the things that I've noticed with some of my clients recently is really tracking your job search. And so if someone can raise their hand with the little, thing that you mark, let me know if you're tracking all of your activity right now.
David.
All right. So most of you are.
I am not.
All right. So this is a huge, huge, huge part of your job search strategy and your foundation. The spray and pray method is not going to work. The transactional, experiences with recruiters is really not going to yield the results that you want unless you're tracking this data. And I always recommend that everyone pick, 5 or 10 key companies that they know align with their core mission, vision, and values, and really put the full court press on those organizations and not be so reliant on the job boards. Now, I do believe in applying for positions. I believe that should be a part of your strategy, and then take it to the next level to socially show up in front of those key decision makers on LinkedIn specifically to showcase your leadership voice. And that can just strictly be in commenting or producing content, or sending thoughtful direct messages to really engage with those key decision makers. But tracking is really where the magic happens, because then you can see, I applied on this day, I connected with my recruiter this day, I sent, I supported their content 3 different times, and now I'm ready to send a thoughtful direct message or a video message or a voice message. So I would love to hear any feedback about the resistance to tracking or any challenges that you've had with tracking your job search, because Michael and I have created, or Michael has given away a Excel sheet where you can track that information.
And I'm looking, that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm scrambling for it.
Okay.
And I'll share it in the chat here as soon as I pull it up. Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Well, it wouldn't be a hotline show without you chiming in. So, hi, Alma.
Hello, everybody.
We miss you. We miss you.
I miss all you too. I'm so glad that you took this opportunity to have the holiday edition. And I'd like to say hello and hola to everyone on the line. My name is Alma Renaz. I am a recovering classroom teacher, a boot camp survivor, and at the moment I am a developer advocate with Latin America's premier developer relations company. And I wanted to add something to 2 things. First, over the past few months that I have been working, because I was unemployed for almost all of 2020. I started working again at the end of August. So there was a couple of months there that was pretty grim, and the Hotline show and Anna Morgan were crucial in me actually surviving that very difficult phase in my life. And I haven't stopped networking. I'm going to events. A part of what I do as a developer advocate, I actually have to network with people. So in some of the events that I've been to, so I've been going to summits and webinars, I actually applied for a scholarship ticket for an event for the Debug 2020 summit that Lesbians Who Tech produced. And one of their sponsors was JP Morgan Chase. And they're actually the ones who gave me my ticket so I could attend the week-long event. And then they actually had a networking webinar that was focused on high level people in the Houston area at JP Morgan. And one of I'm trying to think, she was like the VP of human resources or something along the line. She basically she laid it out for us. She said any financial institution nowadays is a tech organization, that technology is just, and finances and finance are just hand in hand. So that means that apart from there being like this huge need to fill all these roles, we need to think of ourselves as tech workers, and any past experience we might have had in a different area, it doesn't necessarily mean that you were coding, for example. We should really think about how to leverage that when we're looking for roles in organizations. And I have to say that having that tracking system, for me, the one that Michael is looking for right now, while I was networking, looking for roles, was just so helpful. And it still is right now, because now I can go back and I can touch base with people.
Mhm.
I can invite them to different events that I am participating in. So for example, I am working with the open source community, and part of what we do is organize events. And in particular, we're organizing an event next year that is very much focused on open source technologies, but specifically used a lot in security. So now I can go back to all those cybersecurity people that I networked with for about 6 months, and if not more. I think Michael shared that spreadsheet with us in, I want to say April or May.
Yeah,
So,
and the spreadsheet's in there. So I did so you all should be able to see it. Let me know if you don't.
So from the moment
it's
he shared it with us to today, I've continued to network. I've continued to use it to track who I've been talking to. And so now I can go back and have give them something of value, saying, hey, we're organizing this event next year, and it's focused on this open source technology that could actually be of use to you and your engineering teams at the organization where you're at. Here's the link to the website. It's a free event. Why don't you come on over and check it out? So now I'm nourishing and I'm cultivating those relationships, which I have, Anna just really drilled it into me. Networking is key, and you're as strong as your network. So I have to say that it feels much better when somebody is chasing you to offer you a job and they want you to work with them, than for you to be the one chasing after people saying, please give me a chance. They both can give you results, but I think that on an emotional level, it feels better when you're the one, being sought after than the other way around. So I think one way to become that person who's being sought after is paying it forward, is giving something of value, is nourishing those relationships. And then maybe in a couple of weeks or months, people are saying, hey, why don't you, what you did that provided so much value to me, why don't you come work with us? So that's what I'd like to add to the conversation.
Thank you,
Alma.
It was awesome. And I think, when you look at it, and I tell all my career coaching clients, and I can tell you of the clients that have landed, they have not landed because of applying on job boards. They have landed through networking, effective networking. And I realize that there are a lot of people getting bombarded out there who are working that may not be responding as quickly as you would want them to, or even at all. And that's fine. You don't want to, you want to focus somewhere else then, or find another person who will talk to you. So don't just be a one and done type person. Send that email.
And I think that's what we see on the recruiter side. And, you know, Craig, Diana, any of the recruiters in the house, feel free to chime in. With all my years of recruiting experience, it's really those personalized messages that, you know, really highlight that they've actually spent time and looked at the profile or studied the company and really have picked out the key things from the job description that really align with their skills and experience, and being able to tell that story, but also being interested in that person, that personally, like Alma saying, paying it forward. How can I add value to that person? How can I earn the right before I actually ask for something? You know, I had an experience earlier this week where someone saw that I was a recruiter and they sent me just a direct message with a resume, and it said, just let me know if you have a match. And what that does is it puts all the work back on the recruiter. And I'm going, well, which position is he talking about? What job am I working? Is he local? Like, what is his industry? What companies has he worked with? So, you know, taking that time. And I think, and I understand the sense of urgency. I've been unemployed. I've been on that side of the desk, and I know the anxiety and the fear that comes with that. But if we can take a step back and be very strategic in our approach, we will get better results. And that ties back into that tracking piece, because you're going to look back and see, oh, I haven't contacted that recruiter or supported that person's content in 2 weeks. And so I need to go back and do that. And is there another way that I can start a conversation with this hiring manager or this recruiter, or even someone that has the position that you want, to facilitate that informational interview? Anybody else? Any recruiters want to chime in?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Craig.
It's me, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
I always say that you should try to show up in the peripheral vision of the recruiters or hiring managers at the company that you want to work for multiple times before you even reach out, right? So
Agree.
post some things that would be valuable on LinkedIn to that company. Even do your own research about that company and maybe its competitors, about how they do certain things, write about their candidate experience or their application process, whatever. Do some research, publish it on your LinkedIn profile, and then tag all the people that work at the companies that you want to work for. I mean, add value before you even, right? Or write something about their processes for the kind of job that you want to do. And publish it there to LinkedIn, and start showing up in their peripheral vision, and then eventually make that reach, because then you're a more familiar face. They're more likely to respond.
So Craig's actually, for those of you who don't know Craig is actually very knowledgeable about showing up on LinkedIn. He does it beautifully. And Jennifer Lyons said, networking on LinkedIn can be frustrating when over and over they do not respond. Get it? So Craig, I want you to answer this. Even when you say, I saw that we are both connected through or so, or try to find a common link between us, is there a better way to connect, Craig?
Yes, absolutely. So every time you do something like that, make some kind of outreach that someone doesn't respond to, that's an ask. And I'm a big proponent of the 5 gives for every 1 ask methodology of getting people to respond. If you're valuable to them and their network and they see it 5 times, then that one time you do make the ask, occasionally you're more likely to get a response. It's the 80-20 principle, and it just works.
Okay.
100%.
I'm new to the group. Dave Belloc here. Greg, you're on the money with that. I should be have ageism. I should have all these things happening to me. Just briefly, my story started on March, fired in the end of March. March, April, May. I had my stream of connections ready. Got a new contract, been on a new contract, potentially getting another contract as this contract wraps up. And what I've noticed, Craig, is use that pay forward with your recruiters. I have went to recruiters and sent them articles on AI, facial recognition used in interviewing. I said, this may be of interest to you. I've reached out to CEOs of companies saying, I've noticed that you quoted in this article that I read. Thank you for some great advice. I got response saying, I didn't even know I was quoted. Sent them the article. I didn't even know I had the article. And within weeks, I've gotten results. I have recruiters now calling me. I send recruiters candidates in my network. I send them an email, my candidate, my friend an email, and I get out of the way. I get a phone call every other day now from recruiters who are saying, thank you. Work with people, show that value. I can't stress that. In terms of IT, Michael, to follow up on yours, IT is the canary in the economy, I found out, over 30 years of doing IT. We're 6 months ahead. Companies can't do IT projects unless they know what's coming on. My phone has been ringing off the hook. So if anybody is in doubt of what's happening in IT, good news, this is the year. And by the way, I'll sum it up with this. I ask them the rate. I don't negotiate. I said, what's the rate? The rate has been going up 10 to 15% before I even ask. So those two signs of phone calls coming in, being open to W-2 contract or anything else in any field, and don't ask the rate first, you get a 10% increase, and give to your recruiters. So pay it forward, pay it forward, pay it forward. It works, it works, it
Yeah,
works.
I mean, it's, from both Craig and David, thank you so much. I mean, it's just right there, you could see the passion on David's face, and it's kind of a good segue to hear as a part of the show, because we need to keep it moving, as to who has landed. Right. So is there anybody that was on the show over the summer? I'd like to know if anybody on the call here has landed. And if so, I want you to unmute yourself and then just give us like a 30-second who you're working for, what you're doing, and how you got the job.
Hello, me, because I have to get going. My son made us dinner and he's waiting for me to eat. I it was like literally, when did the show wrap? Like
July 31st.
Okay.
But who's counting?
July 31st, 2 weeks later, I got a call from someone who I knew from networking, and she needed help. And it was for a role that she wasn't even sure how to get me onto the team. She just knew that she needed help from me because I had been doing some volunteer work with the nonprofit that she's the president of for this year. And that 3-month contract turned into, how about you just hang out here with us? I got a 50% increase in my pay. And I have her 100% support to continue to grow in my tech career. And this, I mean, it was essentially just a role that was not posted on LinkedIn. It wasn't posted anywhere. It was from a business owner who knew me in Austin, who needed help. And I was, like I said, it feels much better when they start looking for you. And she did. She reached out to me, looked for me, and I have been trying to pay it forward since then. And if I can help anybody else out with introductions or just support, I actually saw someone on the call that I recommended they join us, Elvis in New York City, who I know through my volunteer work with the cybersecurity nonprofit. And I'm going to continue to do that because it was thanks to the generosity and just the willingness to help and support of other people that I was able to get through a really difficult time. And that now I am in a position to help other people as well and to continue to grow. So, I'm a career transitioner. Up until last year, I was a classroom teacher. And I think that, tech has a lot of issues, but I do believe that it is a space for absolutely everybody. And my particular area of interest, which is cybersecurity, needs people who are willing to continue to learn and grow and who are voracious learners. And that's me. And so I'm jumping in and I'm here to stay. And I can't thank Michael and Anna enough for all the work that you have done and continue to do to support job seekers like us. And
Absolutely.
We love you.
thank you. Thank you.
Well, and sharing your story provides hope. So yay. I know we have some other people on the call that have
Yeah.
some
Thanks,
good
Selma, for
too.
coming on.
Yeah.
All right, who
Anybody
else?
Hi, this is Mehek.
The heck?
Hi, Michael. Hello, Anna. Thank you
Hey,
for doing this show again. We
Sure.
missed you.
Oh,
missed you too.
miss you too.
So I would really want to share my story. All thanks to all the sessions that you conducted. I would also want to extra thank Michael for doing a LinkedIn live session with me, where I got an
Sure.
opportunity to talk about the status, what international students go through.
Mhm.
And finally, I got a job with one of the software solution company. It's a North Dakota company called Go Prominent, and I worked there as a project manager.
No
So
way. So are you, that's
Congratulations.
awesome. So are you corp to corp, or did you
it's
get
full time.
H1B?
It's full
H1B?
time. Yeah, they will be doing eventually because right now I graduated in March 2020, so I have
Right.
an
So you have to
option
wait.
to work on my student visa for next 3 years. So it's a E-Verify company, and they are like, after looking at my performance, they might apply for my H1B.
Just keep trucking. You
I'm
got
sure
it.
you're
Thank
going to
you.
crush it.
Yeah,
There's no
thank you
doubt.
so much. And I would also want to, the last point to add is the tracking sheet really helps. And only after getting that sheet, it actually gave me, I was doing it earlier as well, but
Mhm.
Michael's sheet is actually streamlined in such a way that you actually get to know where and how and whom do you have to connect with.
Mhm.
So this job, I was following up with the company after 5 months. So I had interviewed with them in March, and then again, I interviewed with them during September first week, and end of September, I joined there.
Yes. That's what I
Thank
want
you.
to hear.
Thank you so much.
Thank the Lord. That's awesome. Or whomever you believe in. So anybody else got some good news?
Yeah, can you hear me? This is Laura.
Hi, Laura Van Camp. How are you?
I'm good. I'm incognito today, so hiding behind the
We know what that
graphic.
means. You're in your bunny slippers,
You got that
bathrobe, and a
right.
t-shirt, just hanging out.
It is cold here in Kansas City, so I'm bundled up.
Chilly here too.
But yes, I landed. So I'm actually 6 weeks into my new role. I landed at Galderma, which a lot of people don't know Galderma, but they are a pharmaceutical company based in Fort Worth, Texas. However, they make two brands that most people do know, which are Cetaphil Skincare and Differin Acne Care. So really great company. I could not be more pleased in the first 6 weeks, especially starting remote. I think that was a challenge that I was a little concerned about, but the move will happen when COVID slows down. So I'll be relocating to the Fort Worth area, probably
All right.
Q1 or Q2 sometime. So very
That's
excited.
exciting. Well, you have to look me up when you're down here, when you get down here.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm in
Yeah.
Dallas. I'm in Dallas. So yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
Congratulations.
perfect. And mine was a referral. So keep
There you go.
networking and don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am happy to connect with everyone. And I may not be able to give you an exact referral, but I can totally try to help you get in wherever you're looking. So
Yeah,
Well, that's
congrats.
nice.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you, Laura, for sharing that.
Yeah.
I think, is Amy on the call? Amy Guthman? We might have.
Well, because she landed before we ended, right?
Yeah, she did. That's true. That's true. And Jen Katz landed as well.
Yeah. Anybody
so-
else? Anybody close? Though they don't want to jinx it, so you
Or
probably
just
don't
have
want to
good
tell
news
us.
to share?
Are you? So here's the question to ask: are you seeing more traction than you've been seeing in the last 3 to 4 months? I'm curious about that.
Things picking up.
I
Yes.
definitely think this week has picked up quite a bit. I think there's definitely screening that's happening. I think recruiters are active right now. I've been getting emails. People are just seem to be out there and trying to find candidates for sure.
Yeah, yes, I want to agree with that. I've had lots of action, and it's so funny because I know I try to, communicate a lot on LinkedIn, but the recruiters are just calling. And when I think that, things are going to slow down, I get something else. And it's like I'm interviewing every day. It's very
Are you
exciting.
making progress?
Well, I was close to one. I got to the final two, was not selected, but that happens. So
But it
I'm
gives
just
you hope, right?
yes.
It's
I
good
went to
practice.
yes, I went through 5 interviews and was not selected, but yeah, it was down to me and someone else. I was second place, but anyway, it was good.
That's awesome.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mike Caldwell. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
I had an interesting one yesterday. I had a 4-hour interview with a team of managers. And the goal of this company is to expand. They're looking to bring in a role they've never had before. And my interview was not only to get to know me, but to also allow me to be a part of the development of the role in the company. So they were not only trying to develop the role, they were also interviewing me for that role and wanted my input because of my background. So it was kind of an interesting interview. It lasted 4 hours. So it was unique and different. And I got a lot of insight into the company. They got a lot from me, but you're talking about activity. I think activity is picking up quite a bit.
That's awesome. So Mike Lovestad has a question, and I'll let you answer this. It says, what do you think about taking a remote job that wants you to relocate after COVID, but you don't really want to relocate? Any success stories of being able to negotiate permanent remote work versus relocating?
Pick me.
That's a tricky question. I mean, work is work. If you need to work and you could confidently earn a paycheck and, work for a company that aligns with what you're looking to do, I would go ahead and accept it, or maybe ask for a review after a certain period of time to discuss, future remote work or the opportunity to not have to move. But you have to, your home life and your career is your business, right? And so you have to do what's best for you in that moment at that time. So if it's something that you need to do as potentially a stopgap position to augment your income while you find a local position, being on the recruiter side, it would be a bummer to have to backfill that position after things happen. But I do understand the other side of that, needing to support your family and take care of the bills and stuff like that. So, but I do, it's best to try to have those conversations up front earlier than to try to slip it in later. It really depends on the trust you have built with the recruiter that's actually helping negotiate the whole process for you.
Yeah. And I would also say, Mike, that if you're able to negotiate, so short answer, if I'm a recruiter, and I know Jessica will back me up on this, Craig Fisher will back me up this, Mary Leone will back me up on this, but we want to know up front whether or not you're in. If you're not in to moving, then you're wasting your time, you're wasting the person's time. I get it. But if you could maybe work on an arrangement as a part of the negotiation to say, hey, look, if I can prove to you that I can
do
work
a contract
remotely.
period.
Yeah, I can prove to you that I can do the work remote and be just as productive instead of being there.
Mm-hmm.
Then can we discuss that? If you're interviewing for like a director or VP role and you have to lead a group and they're all in-house,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to need to move. And so you need to ask yourself, do I really want to waste the recruiter's time and waste my time with chasing this if I know, eventually I'm going to have to relocate? The other thing I would try to negotiate is I'd like to be able to prove to you that I can work here remotely. And then after a year, let's bring this up and discuss whether or not I need to move.
Can I interject in that?
Yes, sir.
Or just add to it, please?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought long and hard about this subject when I've been getting a lot, long before things started going south. And what I've come up with through a lot of discussion with other people and a lot of it is what you said already, Michael, is that because I had a really like a bad gut feeling about like telling someone, yes, I'll take the job, knowing full well that I have no intention of moving.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed kind of skeevy to me, and it didn't sit well with me. And I'm like, I personally, my personal ethics, I can't do something like that. I can't take that role.
Yeah.
And I thought that puts me in a conundrum. So what I come up with is, one, no one knows when, said end date will ever arrive.
Yeah.
We have a thing, we believe that it will. So I believe it's an unfair question from the client, because how do you want me to, tell you about, agree to move or be relocated, a year, 18 months, 2 years, who knows when, some unknown date. We don't know what's going to happen. And so what I took part of what Michael was saying is I just put it out to them, says, let's get me in the role, because if you get in the role, the key is if you get in the role,
Like
and
what
they
Alma
see
was
you
saying.
working,
Yeah.
and they see you working, you get skin in the game. They get a chance to see you because you're working remote already, right? And they realize, oh, you can be effective. Then you have much more bargaining power when that time comes up. So I tell the recruiters, hey, let's get me on and tell your client, let's have a conversation when that time comes, because no one knows what's going to happen. So that's kind of how I came to some comfort level with me in that question.
Mary?
And thank you, Michael. One of the things I wanted to add is I am hearing from people who are working and they haven't been in transition in 2020, but one of the things I'm hearing from them is they're rethinking, even though they're still working from home, they're still working from home through at least middle to end of next year, but they're rethinking, do I really have to sit in Dallas, or do I really have to sit wherever I am? So it's not just people like us who are in transition, it's other people as well. And companies are really thinking about, does it make sense? Are we going to reduce our office space? Are we going to work differently? Are we going to have people come in only some days a week or full time? Or is it okay that they live in a different state? Maybe they live in Ohio instead of in Dallas. And is that okay? But I would, from a recruiting leader standpoint, I would prefer that a candidate tell me up front and be open with that, because you don't want to go through that whole process and then lose credibility. So that would be the advice that I have.
Exactly.
Craig?
And Mary,
Craig, what do you think?
REI, the outdoor clothing manufacturer, has sold its office, its corporate headquarters, and said, we don't need it anymore. Everybody's working remote.
Yeah,
When
I think
Fortune
so much
500
is like
companies
still
like
up in
that
the
start
air.
doing it. When the Fortune 500 companies start doing that, they set the tone, and you're going to see a cascade effect.
Yeah, Michael actually brought this up earlier. So, and it's something I actually used to consult on, ironically, about 15 years ago, e-learning, e-health, remote working, back in the telecommunications. Well, back then, and it was all treated as science fiction, but companies here are already doing it. And I feel that, we weren't adopting the technologies that we had in place. A lot of industries weren't. We had a lot of solutions in, but we were often in maintenance mode, not in innovation mode. And I think you're going to start to see that, exactly what was mentioned earlier. Companies are going to think, well, hold on, do we really need this big office space in downtown Austin when we are a tech company, or we are, we're proven we can do it. So let's build, innovation as part of our roadmap. Let's see what we can open up here. And you've got to think about the workforce of the future, right? Kids are doing e-learning. They're going to be growing up in that environment. They're going to be expecting that from employers. So companies are going to have to make that change and be open to it in order to attract top talent, because that's what the labor market is going to demand.
Oh, that's dead on. My current client is an executive search firm. They work for the Fortune 10 global companies, finding for C-level positions and leadership and succession. Research that they've done has shown all these points you pointed out, especially what you said, Ben. Companies now, one of the criteria they're adding to search for C-level executives is ability to run remote teams, sustainability, attraction of leading candidates, and maintaining your staff. Number one, that's coming up in Gen Z, X, Y, and the new generations, the 3-2-2, work 3 days in the office, 2 days remote, 2 days off. To technology, the firm I'm working for right now, $250 given to everybody to upgrade their office for technology. For headsets, Anna, we'll send you $250 for the headset. Exactly, but that's important. The research has come in. Companies that fail to do this and think about it will lose, was the number one thing that came out. This was a joint thing from the UN and from the company. Sustainability now requires ability for people to work remote, flexibility in the hours, and it kind of addresses and wraps up what we were saying. If you can prove that you can deliver from home, the new metrics now is not social engagement and EQ face-to-face. The new one is deliverables. As a business analyst, they want to see how many artifacts. Yes, Brian.
Great point.
Eva's gonna, on her way home from school, she's gonna drop off Kyle's.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So no, I'm just saying is there's new deliverables, new ideas of how people measure performance, new expectations of employees, which is that remote capability. If you can prove it, they'll use you. So that's something to be considered. And mind you, the corporations at the C-level, it's now becoming criteria for selection of new leaders in the Fortune 10 companies. Can they handle remote teams? Can they handle this new world that we're in? So that's driving from the top down. So corporations are making those choices.
Great point, mate. That's a
All right.
No, you're dead on, correct in what you said, Ben.
So
that, mate.
thanks, guys. So let's any other good news, like you've landed, anybody else before we move to recruiters? If you've got open positions, I know I've got some open positions. Anna does. Craig, I know, has launched a website geared for software engineers. So if he knows of any openings, Mary Leone, are there any other recruiters that are currently working and jumped on the call for the purposes of helping others?
Saw Diana here, but she might have jumped off. Okay.
Yeah, we've had some people jump off just as we've approached 5 o'clock. So, and then I'll also say that if you know of an opening that you weren't right for, but you didn't get it, but you think someone on this could benefit from it, bring it up, share it, right? And as far, so Cindy, are you telling me, yes, you're a recruiter and you have Houston roles?
Correct. And I was getting ready to say some are remote and some are, believe it or not, I actually have clients that have been in the office since June.
Wow. So who do you work for and what are you hiring for?
So I work for ClearPoint Technology. We're staffing and recruiting for IT. And I echo everything that we've been talking about. I'm seeing, Scrum Master and Agile coach roles that are all based on remote teams, et cetera. I have 3 roles right now that are, my focus is marketing and digital. So I have an OCM, change management, a project that's 4 to 6 months. It's on site in Houston though. So, if anyone is in Houston or is willing to get to Houston and has OCM experience, I'm also looking for in January, a motion graphics designer that has a strong background in illustration, motion graphics, maybe a little PowerPoint and graphic design experience. And I have I guess that's really what the key ones right now. I also have a bilingual copywriter, copy editor, and a copywriter for a B2C company that is remote for the time being, but will eventually go on site, but who knows when that will be.
And what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
So I can add my email address if that would be helpful.
Yeah, add it,
Sure.
and then, attach your LinkedIn profile if you already haven't.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. Who else has job opportunities before Anna and I share ours?
So if anyone is looking for software engineering type jobs, you can actually download our app, but you can go to knack.io, and there's a link there to download the iPhone app or the Android app. And if you're in software engineering or graphic design, anything like that, you can real easily upload your profile and get matched to jobs from every career site and job board that exists, especially the niche ones that focus on remote work and software engineering. So it's easy. I'd love to see your feedback if you guys want to connect with me. If you're not already connected with me, it's pretty cool.
Love it.
Thanks, Craig. Anybody else? Mary, do you have any? Are you working any positions or no?
Who was that? Was just speaking, the gentleman with
That was Craig Fisher.
Knack.io?
Craig Fisher.
Okay.
Yep.
Craig Fisher. Did we lose Mary? You're on mute. Do you have any?
She said she didn't have any. So for the Atlanta folks, I'm looking for like a part-time tax person for a small CPA firm. For Atlanta, I'm also looking for inside sales to go to outside sales in a connected technical manufacturing, the uninterruptible power supply industry. So a lot of calling on engineers to specify equipment for data centers. And I'm looking for a similar role like that as well in Louisiana, Baton Rouge area.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a few. One, I'm posting the way to get in touch with this person. Fanny Dunnigan is looking for a seasoned SAP recruiter. So you have to have recruited for SAP engineers. They forgot the technology. Oh, SAP, the S/4HANA is the main focus of Delaware North America's solutions to their companies. I know that they're looking for 50 engineers and project leads. So if you're interested, reach out to Fanny, hit her up. I put her name, put the company, and I put her LinkedIn profile. She responds very well to InMail. But if you have
5 o'clock
somewhere, SAP, if you're an SAP engineer and you have the S/4HANA experience, get in touch with Fanny.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to travel. You got to be willing to make it happen. She's also looking for a recruiting coordinator, a full-time recruiting coordinator. She'd really like to have at least a year or so of recruiting experience in the background. But this person it's a lot of administrative. So it's helping set up interviews, helping set up virtual interviews, scheduling phone calls, scheduling meetings.
Is that remote too?
Yeah, both can be remote.
Okay.
I think she'd prefer to have that person in Dallas, the coordinator in Dallas. The recruiter can be based anywhere.
Because Rosalind is a good recruiting coordinator that's on here. So
where is she based?
She's here in Atlanta.
All right. Well, Rosalind, reach out to Fanny. And then I am personally working on several positions. The first one is an area sales manager out of Houston. You have to be extremely knowledgeable, obviously, in sales, but you also, you need to, you're going to manage about 20 people, and you should be knowledge in distribution and HVAC. Not that I'm looking for the purple squirrel or anything, but actually, if you've been in distribution, you've been in you've worked for Grainger or some type of electrical supply company, you can just reach out to me and hit me up. I'm also looking for 3 civil engineers and a landscape architect. Those are based in
Interesting.
the Charlotte or Raleigh area. And then I will be looking for, on a contractor basis, probably starting sometime in mid-January, I'm looking for 3 or 4 contractors, one with a specialty in sales, one with a specialty in IT, one with a specialty in marketing. It's a startup based out of Nashville. And I have signed on as a consultant with them. And basically he wants to start off in a consulting environment to build the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested, hit me up on email, InMail, LinkedIn, however you want to hit me up. So that's, so I've got a lot going. So I can honestly say, things are really starting to pick up again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can feel confident to say that, don't stick your head in the sand, keep going, and
Mm-hmm.
don't get down, and stay organized.
And don't be afraid to reach out. This is a time to support each other and lift each other up and, share each other's experience, strength, and hope to, help connect the dots. I mean, that's the power of LinkedIn and networking and being of service to others. And we know that it's been a hard year for so many. And, the whole point of getting together today was just to see some smiling faces and encourage everyone and know that Michael and I are always willing to give some of our time to support those in need and, just keep on going, just keep swimming.
That's right. So we'll stay on for a little bit to answer any of if you have any questions that you want to throw our way. We'll probably do another pop-up, sometime down the road. Can't tell you when it's going to be.
Yeah.
But the good news is that Anna, myself, Craig, I don't know if he already jumped off or not, but he's a great networker, someone to be connected with. Mary Leone, very, very connected out there. I've never met Cindy Boudreau, but sounds like she's fairly connected if she's got position. So Cindy, thank you.
It's my first time on, so.
Well, thanks for having us on. So it's good to see everybody. I just wish you guys nothing but the happiest of holidays.
Yeah.
Wish you a happy new year, love and heart to everybody.
And Anna, you guys are beyond words. And so I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think that I'm the only one feeling that. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mr.
This
Stelly.
is Chantel, and I just wanted to say thank you. Like, I just got a random invite for this call, and I was kind of like, oh no, I'm not really sure what it's going to be about. But it's 5
Sorry
o'clock.
if I didn't mean to spam you. I only messaged people that said yes to the invite.
I don't remember, because sometimes I'll say yes, and I was like, well, maybe I must have said something somewhere that I wanted to do this, but I don't remember what it was. So
the invites are a lot these days.
But aren't you glad?
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this was super positive. I just spoke to an engineer today who is he's getting his AWS certification, and he's looking for a new job. He is I think an H-1B visa holder right now. So he definitely has to find something. But just being able to point him in the right direction and get him connected to people so that he can find his next position is just awesome. And
that's the name of this game, Chantel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And one other shout out I want to do. If you go to screen 1, you will see a woman with antlers on her head. And her name is Fanshawn Henneberger. Let me tell you something about Fanshawn. And look, and I do this because she is a great resume writer. While she's looking for full-time work, she has a lot of clients, and she's actually fairly priced, not overly expensive at all. So if you believe that your resume needs a makeover, you need to reach out to Fanshawn Henneberger. Say something, Fanshawn. Take yourself off mute and say something.
Thank you for that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I've been listening to just some of the folks and some of the openings and whatnot, and just some of my clients. Who can I push where and help them land and help them get into some roles? Because there's just some really, really great people out there, and I am seeing movement. I'm seeing in talking to my clients, I'm seeing movement. I'm seeing better job descriptions come across my desk as well as I work to pair people's resumes to job descriptions. Some what I call purple unicorns. They're not as prevalent as they were a couple of months ago. You know, entry level position, 8 years experience in your master's. I'm not seeing much, you know, anymore. So I think everybody just keep telling my folks, you know, I was a swimmer, and when you were at the end of a race, it was keep kicking to the wall. And that's what I keep telling my clients, keep kicking, keep kicking. It's December. Don't stop. So yeah.
And as a former swimmer, and as a former swimmer, we can all verify.
Diver,
we can
lacrosse
totally
player.
verify that, yeah, you keep kicking into the wall. And if it requires a two-hand touch, you better two-hand touch. And that's butterfly and breaststroke. No excuses.
And guess what I got access to?
I don't know. I'm scared to ask.
LinkedIn Live. Going live in 2021. So I'll be reaching out. Make sure you all connect with me because I'm going to need guests. I'm going to be, you know, planning my my shows here coming up soon. So
are you still doing Ask BFF?
Your Career BFF?
Yeah, are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Tell people how to access it.
Yeah. You just go to my website and there is a little tab there where you can submit questions, and I record videos and send you personalized answers back. So I'll put it in the chat, but I'm super excited to finally have access. Well, that's not my website. Hold on.
Rosalind, who's that cute little pop-in guest you have there? Who's that young man? You gotta take yourself off mute if you're ready.
Hi, this is my son, Braden.
Hey, Braden, I haven't even had a chance to meet you yet, buddy.
Hey, Braden, what's up?
Hi, he's trying to act shy right now.
That's okay.
Don't we all?
So he wants me to open it for him.
I think he should do the honors, right? And open it for him.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. So yeah, we'll stick around. If you need to go, that's great. If not, we're here to answer any questions you want for about another 10 minutes. And then we do need to pop off.
And I still remember just a few weeks back, I remember I came on your Instagram live and we spoke about you getting access to LinkedIn Live. So finally the day has come.
Well, and it's so interesting. So I had a networking call with a woman who, you know, is a LinkedIn coach or a networker today. And I said, she actually worked at LinkedIn. And I said, by the way, do you know anybody in the LinkedIn Live department? And she sent me this link where you can like check your ticket. And then I started messing around with like the third-party apps and went to StreamYard, went through the process, and then it was like go live on LinkedIn. So I'm going to test it here, but it looks like I have it, but I never got notified that I had it.
No, you don't get notified. It just shows up on your profile.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And use StreamYard. Don't use anything else but StreamYard.
Right.
And if you need help, let me know.
Oh, I'll be reaching out for sure. All my BFFs that have the live thing down.
That's right. So
yeah.
Anybody got any other questions? Anybody, or just kind of want to sit here and look at all the faces before you go back to compartmentalizing yourself in a.
I have a question. I'm new on this platform, and all the career channels that I'm on, the nonprofit sector, like there's like never anybody in my sector on here. Is it time for me to like pivot back into my early career life where I was in financial and credit? Because the nonprofit sector is like, you know, off the radar.
Is it though? Is it? I've been talking to people, and I know someone that's interviewing for a position, final interview on Friday at like the Tarrant County Food Bank, which is like the North Texas Food Bank here. I'm sure Chicago has plenty of food banks. And she's going to be an EVP of advocacy and learning. So positions are starting to come back. I still have contacts at American Heart. They're not as many, but here's what I'd say. If you have to pivot, make sure you pivot to something you love doing. Don't just pivot for the sake of pivoting, because that's a short-term solution. So, but if you're really passionate, if you need introductions into like American Heart or into other organizations, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you.
Okay. American Heart is on my list. They had jobs open, so I'll reach out, Michael. Thanks.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, just hit me up on LinkedIn.
This is Cindy Boudreau. I'm not sure exactly what you do, but I'm on the board of a nonprofit here in Houston that's going to be looking for an executive director pretty soon. So feel free to connect with me as well.
Boom.
Michael, I have a question. On that contract-based position that you talked about, you said you need a sales, IT, and marketing. Is that local?
No, it can be remote.
Okay. What kind of market? Are you talking about marketing communication, or I have somebody that I'm
It's marketing communications, it's social media, it's lead generation. That's going to be their primary, white papers, case studies.
Okay.
The standard marketing, true marketing function. So yeah, feel free. I'll go ahead and put my LinkedIn profile out here.
Okay. I'll let her know about that. Thank you.
Awesome.
I loved what you said there, Michael, about pivoting to something you're passionate about. That's such a powerful thing. And I think, this year, I think it's taught so many, including myself, really just what to focus on when it comes to that. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's great advice for so many.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we tend just to say, it's a job, I'll stick with it. I mean, it kind of goes back to Mike's question when he asked, well, should I look at that job? Well, if it's something you really, really want to do, even though you really don't want to move, but you think it could be exciting, you may want to explore the options. The question is if you're married and have kids, I mean, those are wrinkles that are thrown into the mix, right? And so it's got to be a family decision. You can't make that decision for everybody.
Great point. No, great point.
Hey guys and gals, I have to run because I have 17,000 things to do before I head out of town tomorrow. So I want to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, all the things. Please schedule some time with me. I'll be back in the seat January 3rd, ready to go to serve job seekers and career changers. And thank you for showing up today. Thank you for supporting our content and being career BFFs. Love you guys all. Mwah, mwah.
And right. I will send the replay out. I'll post the replay out to everybody. And so this should be out there by tomorrow. So thanks again for coming on, and I wish you guys nothing but the best for 2021, because again, I really feel things are going to be changing for the better, and you just need to keep pushing. And I know it's easier said than done. Look, I've been there. I didn't make much money this year. I haven't made this amount of money since 1995. Talk about a bell ringer. That's even after pivoting, right? But next year is already lining up to be a spectacular year for me, because I've taken the time to build the relationships and get in with companies so that I can go out and either recruit or consult for them on the recruiting side. So just be patient. Don't let the bad apples out there who are not responding, bring you down. And I know that's easier said than done. And, if Mike Stelly's still out there, my heart's with you, and you need to call me anytime. I'm there for you, buddy. So
Michael, just some quick words to you with what you said there. Even though maybe this year financially hasn't been the best, I'll tell you what, you've probably touched and made an impact on more lives that you cannot put a value on. And that, my friend, is worth more than what any paycheck or any commission could put on it. So you have made an amazing difference this year, my friend. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael.
You
have
guys.
been such an inspiration.
Thank you. And I do this because I'm really passionate and hear about it. This is, what you see in Craig Fisher will tell you, Anna will tell you, anybody on the call that knows me really well, that this is what I'm passionate about, because I want to see everybody. I want to succeed, because I've been in the ditch and it sucks. But you know what? You got to crawl out and you got to keep going. So I want you guys to enjoy it. Hit me up on LinkedIn. If you have questions, you want to be a guest on my live, feel free to reach out, and happy holidays, everybody. Be well.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye,
All
guys.
right, thank you.
Thanks,
See
Craig.
y'all.
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Michael.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry
You
Christmas.
too.
Merry Christmas.
Michael,
Happy
Merry Christmas,
holidays.
everyone.
God bless.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, Mike.
All right, guys. Y'all take care. I'm going to hit the end button here.